Put the wine back, bro. Yes, so as a fun sort of artistic direction exercise, I was looking at this one Tumblr page recently. I ended up having a sort of magnificent girly afternoon, you know? I saw a tweet that said, Uncle Del, one of the funniest dudes to follow on Twitter, he said, sometimes a female mood is necessary, which is very true. I ended up having a girly old afternoon, had a time of my life, got my hair cut, put on a nice outfit, walked down the street, took in the sun. I got on the SPF Roche-Posay 50, and I'm sitting, and I looked at Chris Black's Tumblr and printed out like 50 pictures, and it was just a great time. I was just scribbling stuff and eating, you know, my little iced latte, and it was a great time. I didn't have music, which would have been a vibe, but anyway, yeah. So I thought it'd be a fun activity to just talk through his artistic creative direction mood board, because I got a couple of takes on things. There's some interesting creative people we can talk about off him, like filmmakers, actresses, different cultural phenomena. So I think this is a funny way to start the video. This is obviously Chloe Sevigny, and she's on the cover of Homme Girl. What year? I don't know. What year? I don't know, but I like it's a good look. It reminds me loosely of Helmut Newton's Big Nudes. If you've never seen that book before, it's fucking crazy. It's legitimately half my weight. It's insane, and it's so big, and it's on this plinth, and the impact is really crazy. So I do like the pose here, you know, totally Chanel, and Chloe Sevigny is a funny way to start, because then there's this picture of her, also I guess 80s 90s, and she's got the hilarious little Sony camcorder. I guess this isn't VHS, but my whole point with this, in London and Paris, you're seeing upcoming creative dudes walking around the city with these 60-pound cameras. Because I'll be on a date, and this fool's over here in the Kurt Cobain cardigan and the sort of VHS camera. So I ended up, when I was in Paris, I did get the chance to interview a rising, budding in Yerba. He's a budding filmmaker in Paris, and he's doing some cool campaigns. He does the campaigns for 99 Ginger. He does the campaigns for 99 Ginger, which is sort of a selection, sort of a Parisian selection. I guess it's a good way to just succinctly describe it. They got their own wave, but it's a similar eclectic Amapiano kind of remixy dubby style. And anyway, this dude Gabriel, I'll link y'all the interview here. He said this is why the following is why he uses VHS cameras as opposed to fancy new Sony digital ones.
Non mais par exemple la VHS, genre les couleurs sont plus belles, je trouve, genre elles sont plus pures et tout, genre tu sais il y a un grain, je pourrais pas l'expliquer, tu vois, mais genre les trucs de mauvaise qualité, j'aime trop ça, il y a un truc hyper authentique, je trouve, tu vois.
Yeah, so I fucking it from a nostalgia, and then also from a technical, you know, the colors are more pure. That sound is so nice in French, pure. The closed U and O. I really appreciate that phonetically. This one was a funny one. Adorable picture. I've been drooling over this picture since I started, you know, brainstorming this video. She looks like all the young ladies in my Hinge Rose section. Which of course the eternal debate. I just had to delete Hinge, bro. I can't. It's too shitty. I can't deal with it. But the eternal debate is: do I buy this chick is so bad? Do I buy a rose? Do I really buy a rose? Like, am I buying meta points out here? Like, what am I doing? This is a very, very cute picture, and there's a funny little anécdota sobre, es que él rodeó, hizo una película que se llama Tokyo, what is it? Tokyo with Johansson and Murray, right? And hay un dicho bastante particular y un poco que me dijo una colega en España, me dijo que según Sofía Coppola, hay una luz particular e única en Tokio y en Toledo. Esas dos ciudades son las únicas ciudades donde hay una luz particular súper preciosa e única. So I think it was a cool little story. It's from like this little colleague after, you know, grabbing a drink and going back to work. It was funny. This last one, or the second to last one in this first series of Chris Black's artistic direction is under the women category. That's the reason I brought this up. I got this little fear. I like my artistic direction. I've kind of spilled some vino, and I've got the Fear and Loathing. There's an extremely cool Fear and Loathing Quote from Hunter S. Thompson. My attorney was in the bathtub when I returned, submerged in green water, the oily product of some Japanese bath salts. I turned the volume down and noticed a hunk of chewed up white paper beside the radio. My attorney seemed not to notice the sound change. He was lost in a fog of green steam. Only half his head was visible above the waterline. His eyes were gripped shut and only his head and both kneecaps poked up through the oily green water. I really, really, really like this quote, and that's what that reminded me of this campaign, which is part of his artistic direction. And then I thought the placement of the C on this shirt halfway through the C was interesting and maybe a little bit haphazard. I think it'd be interesting to experiment with the placement of the brand name and also to just to remove the brand name and see kind of how it impacts our perception. Does it feel more, I don't know, this is kind of giving sort of Gwyneth Paltrow 1995? I don't know if I got it like that with the dates of movies. But yeah, that was our legacy. It reminded these young women with their breasts showing vulnerably, promiscuously, seductively. It reminded me of this new Our Legacy spring-summer campaign this year. There's some interesting kind of Blade Runner, baddie, kind of exposed breast look. So maybe that's something I'll explore this summer. If I'm trying to freak it, if I'm trying to show off some nip, which I could be. It's that kind of summer, I'm thinking. So this is a really cool pick. I'm really into this. Just in general, I feel like this is a lifestyle picture. Like I'm out in the field, man. I'm out in the field. I'm reporting. I'm war zone. I'm out here getting the flicks. You know what I mean? This is I think they got some little food on the top of the pelican cases. But yeah, I remember back in the day when I was at a dope video production company in the States in North Carolina, Triad Studios. They go by Sora Studios now. They had this nice kind of pelican cases where we put up the gear, rocked out. They were whipping the Mercedes-Benz. It was a cool chapter. This sort of woodland baggage, which is very inspiring. The black and the red and the muted and the river. This is a dope picture. I should get that shit framed on the wall. This reminded me of Liam MacRae, who is definitely. He's got to be up there. That man. That's the thing about Chris Black. Chris Black puts me onto a lot of different sort of. Hey man, check that artist out, check that writer out. I think I saved a couple things to my reading list that he recommended. Something, Sex, Art, and Love at the Chateau Marmont Tales or something. Simon, I can't remember the name. So he comes up with good recs. So this might have been a dude that he collaborated with on some Stussy campaigns. This dude's the man. I've already put out a video essay about this dude. Haha, dick riding, chill. I mean, these pictures are hard as fuck. These pictures are hard. And the caption's nuts. Zip-tied radiators, oil-stained dress shirts. Oil-stained dress shirts is hard, dude. $120 hospital visit, America Core. Product testing, sport, graphics, and custom plastics. Sport, graphic, custom plastic. Bottomless tortilla chips, the best street tacos, worst hotel steaks. Nice juxtaposition. Feeding stray dogs Doritos. Sand in every camera lens, highway bends without turn signals or side mirrors, lawless territory, avoiding Tijuana police, extortion, racing on endless beach stretches, morning ocean mist on fog goggles, places you can't pronounce. Yeah, that's my guy. Well, I don't know him at all. I don't know him and whatever, but he's cool, dude. He's cool. Definitely a big inspiration in my field. And I would love to collaborate with him on a campaign. I think the last segment of this is just a little bit of a bag. I think my takes on these it was the Remova and then a different kind of tote bag I'm gonna show you. It's just I think it's a little bit funny and a little disappointing that some of these are biters of taste, Chris Black included, but lots of people, magazine editors, creative directors. It's curious, and I think it's disappointing that they wear and they sort of adhere to the same baggage. It's like, damn, if you were so interesting, like I'm saying, Ramdan 3000. You got to come out with the title of the creator, Louis Vuitton, the old chest, the trunk bag, like a little more personality. I just think it's a little lame that everyone in this sort of circle wears the same stuff and buys the same things. It shows a lack of creativity, uniqueness in terms of stylistic expression. So, but that being said, I did really appreciate this, the dented Remova look. And that's an interesting kind of person, you can picture it in a book or a film. He had immaculate, Chinese porcelain treasure chests, but they were fucked up and and graffitied, and he had fixed them up. You know what I'm saying? My last little point on these tote bags, and I'll show another picture right here. I think they work a lot better. I think they're less lame and sort of Cape Cod feeling when you use them for a singular purpose, not for a city bag. These are not city bags, but I think they work, you know, tennis ball bag or like art supply bag. I sound like a meme of my own argument. Tennis ball bag, specific uses, gardening bag, yeah, gardening bag, kind of like real chalk bag, you know, going camping bag, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I think they work better for very particular uses instead of walking around town. I don't like it. I think it's lame. I think it's uninteresting. So I thought these were really cool. This last section of the art direction of Chris Black is typography, dedicated to the memory of Vincent Saya II, Bulldoze, BD, Shred Up Hardcore, The Return of Old School, Bulldoze, Cleaning Shit Up, The Truth, Hypocrite, Herb, Suffering, All Rights Reserved, copyright 93, I think. This has inspired me from sort of a very human connection, soulful point of view. I mean, it appears this guy has passed, and here we are, sort of, we're talking about it from an artistic point of view and talking about these things. So I think that's without getting too deeply into it, that's what I think these philosophers are talking about when they say the soul eternal. They're talking about this kind of stuff. This guy, and maybe the art direction of the graphic designer, whatever, this sort of movement, that's what it is, bro. That's why people never die. The souls of people don't die is because we're still talking about it, and it creates conversations. You take this and you get inspired and you make a new t-shirt. And we're talking about this fool in 200 years, the way Aristotle in 2,000 years. So it's curious. It's cool shit, man. I think from a sort of nostalgic electronics and cars and sort of physical physical technology, which is sort of becoming elusive because in these new whips, the Teslas and the new, they don't have any knobs, you know? So I just like my friend told me, it reminds me of this, my friend told me to check out the work of this director, Hype Williams. Hype Williams. I like how I say all my shit now like a damn European. So much posturing, I'm sorry, dude, I can't help it. Yeah, but this is fresh, dude. This is from Lola. I'll have her shit on the screen. I think she's a jewelry designer. I sent this to my friend in Atlanta who has some knowledge of vinyl records and different sort of old cultural touch points. And he was saying if I liked this, then I should peep Hype Williams' old films. Belly, right? Belly, the intro of Belly is crazy. Anyway, I spent too much time on this topic. Margiela, I thought this was fresh. Maison Martin Margiela, Présentation PE 2006. I had to Google this. Do you know what P/E means to 2006? What's your guess, bro? It's on a Martin Margiela plate and it says PE 2006. I had to Google it. I couldn't figure it. That's Printemps Été, which I think is a cool, I'm fucking with it. And I think that's a cool, I like that, man. I'm in PE 2023, you know what I'm saying? With the Margiela. So I think this is sort of some invite, you know, Rue de Faubourg Poissonnière. I thought that was a fresh. Oh yeah, and from a psychological point of view, I did fuck with Margiela and I'm sort of learning about this new industry. He's got this whole artist is invisible, artists recede into the background. It's not about me, it's about the output. And he's also got this thing where he never uses I. He always speaks in the collective, the we. We this season we're putting out this body, which I think is cool. That's the thing. That's what that reminded me of in terms of typography. He's also got this imagery of Comme des Garçons and later Philo. So what happened with Philo is that she was at the head of Céline, predecessor, right? Precursor is the opposite of predecessor. Philo was the head of Céline, and what the dude did, I think, after her, I'm pretty sure maybe it was her, they dropped the accent, the tilde on the E, which is a cool kind of bold move. Out with that old shit, in with the new era, and it's a new feeling, which I like. So I'm curious to see what she comes up with in September, October, automne-hiver. I think it's seasonless, but she's coming out with a new Philo thing, which is supposedly the go-to brand for the sophisticated city woman, you know, of sort of Western Europe. But yeah, respect to Chris Black, cool, creative eye, interesting cultural takes, fuck with it, and aspire to kind of work my way up into this world of media, fashion, content creation. Cool shit. All right, peace. Wait, but down the shirt. Hey, let me get some water. I'll get some water, shall I?